We don't got the data. Some of us can't see us in winning. When you hear the master teachers like Bobby Hemmett saying, yo, we got this. We won already. This is ours. We be like, nah, I don't believe that because you don't got the data. If you had the data, you would realize there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of wheels turning. There's a lot of gears shifting. I was not aware of this. This is not being reported on CNN. Don, excuse me, Mr. Lemon, can you report this? Because Don, you know, that's not their job over there. Their job is to continue to perpetuate propaganda. They push and beat on the people, right? And you saw that in the last 2 years, the level of propaganda that they're engaged in. I'm mostly speaking about grant writers in the sense of individuals who have the power of the pen to extract the billions upon billions of dollars that are literally on the table for our upward mobility, right? What does that mean? What that means is that we need some sisters. That's who it is. The power of the administration force. Our women. The heartbeat of America. Do you know prior to what they call integration, and they let y'all come into their Fortune 500 companies, the level of wealth in America through Fortune 500 was non-existent like that. They were not even turning out millionaires. When the black woman went into corporate America, it exploded. Remember the movie Hidden Figures? Yeah. Where they showed you that it was our women that got them out of the goddamn stratosphere.
Yeah. And it was in Virginia. That movie was in Virginia.
Do you know that the government is being run by black women?
Facts. DC, Maryland, DMV.
Federal government? DMV? You been there. You see it. I ain't making it up. Who's pushing the buttons? I'm in Atlanta. Everybody in the whole bureaucracy is black. But who's the string puller on the outskirts? Right? Because that's a Klan town. And all they did was went into the outskirts and then leased their properties. Right? Negroes don't even really own the properties. They be thinking that they bought it, but it's still leased. They're paying taxes on it. It's getting snatched from them. It's all redlined and all that. I mean, they playing an ill game of Monopoly out there with that mountain with the Confederates carved on the side of it, right? That they do their magic and everything on. Where they sacrifice all kind of black boys in the 80s and they call it the Atlanta childhood murders. Right on that crystal. Yeah. The Klan. Who do blood rituals. Now there's a spell on that city where the black boys die every day. You feel me? And it perpetuated itself around the world. Right? Around the South and around the world where something is taking place and it feels like a wicked spell. You know what I mean? On the people. So the grant writers that we need are, you know, they're imperative at this point. Because in order to get our people up and going, we're going to have to fund their movement. In order to get somebody out of bed, off the phone, you're going to have to incentivize them. The baby's got to eat. And the grant money will afford us the opportunity to do what needs to be done, because you'll find out when you start getting into these grants, like, damn, wow, the whole time, everything that I was doing out of my pocket or for free, they had grants for this? They got grants to homeschool? They got grants to basically, remember, you, black man and black woman, Asiatic, black man, black woman, melanated, more, you are considered to be the quote-unquote holder of culture. And anywhere around the world, cultural exchange is a means of not just survival, but strival. You go to China with cultural exchange, meaning that you could take your culture and monetize it anywhere that you go. You could teach the children how to dance hip-hop, how to walk hip-hop, how to talk hip-hop, how to draw hip-hop, how to dress hip-hop, how to, you know what I mean? The same way that they come to learn your language, they'll pay you to learn your language like you'll pay them to learn their language. They'll pay you to learn your culture anywhere that you go. There's people that are non-melanated complexions that are going around the world teaching hip-hop. Did you know that? And they get into the grant money, and they grabbing the money that's on the table and get into the bag, and that's what they be going to Africa doing. Oh, I'm here teaching breakdancing. Who wants to start it up? You know what I mean? Ace Ventura is going overseas to teach people how to breakdance in your name. Right? So, there's new land trust models, right? And we were talking about, there was a brother that I bigged up named Duvon Chavis out there in Richmond. He's doing monumental things, right? There's something called agri-hood, right? That's something that I would highly, if you're into real estate or if you're into sustainability, or if you're, that's $1 trillion industry, by the way, wink, wink. All things green and sustainable, that would be something that you would highly want to dive into, especially if you want to tap into the grant money that's available for that. Because remember, the same people that destroyed the planet have allocated $1 trillion to clean it up. And they're going to pay for it. They're just not going to do it. But they destroyed it, and they got the bread to fix it. So they're gonna say green cars. You gotta have the EV cars. You can't be, you can't have a smoker, right? They're gonna be like green living and whatnot. Can't be burning coal and shit in the crib no more. And everything is gonna go green. So agri-hood, right, is something that this brother's working with and whatnot, where land, food, and housing justice meet. Increasingly, conversations around affordable housing have included the constellation of needs beyond the physical structure of the house. Proximity to amenities, transportation, and job centers are considered assets to developments. Agri-hoods are ways of linking housing explicitly to amenities and food access by placing them on the same site and fostering small communities with opportunities for recreation and food production. While these are often luxury developments, a new agri-hood in Chesterfield, Virginia had a vision of opening access to food and land justice to underserved communities in Central Virginia. 3 nonprofit organizations are at the table of this partnership. Happily Natural Day, which is the organization this brother is head of, H&D, Girls for a Change, F.A.C.T, and the Maggie Walker Community Land Trust. The home ownership component of the agri-hood will consist of 10 permanently affordable homes sold through MWCLT's program. The agricultural component will be spearheaded by Duvon Chavis of H&D and will include job training coordination with F.A.C.T in a community event space for offerings such as regular farmers markets. Now, did you just see in that one paragraph how 3 different businesses were able to eat with each other, right? Then provide multiple solutions to some of the issues that we got, like food and shelter, right? And as you can see, right, this is done through the grants, right? So I'm just here to let you know that there's a lot of things possible to do community-wise, but we got to come into rooms like this, right? At least once a week, right? One of the things that I've witnessed, or one of the things that I've come to a conclusion by being in this community, is to have anything really birth or give birth to or to actually materialize, you need at least 6 months. Like, I just can't pop up in front of y'all and expect this thing to do what it needs to do overnight. Like, I tell people, if you want to be committed to this initiative, I need at least 6 months to a year from you. Not every day. I'm not an energy drainer, but I need commitment. Because if anything is going to be built, anytime you see a construction project going on outside of these doors and whatnot, right? That team of construction workers, they're committed to that project for at least 6 months, right? To a year, to 2 years. They don't just say, I don't feel like going there today. No, they know that they got to show up, but they're incentivized to show up, of course, right? Some people are incentivized just to see the thing completed. Some people are incentivized because it's $39 an hour. They're like, hey, I will not miss a day. It's 39. I did the math. You know what I'm saying? You'll be good, sir. You'll be good. So, like I said, I'm breezing through the presentation. I will have my good brother Sir Bey capture everybody's emails, right? Who are ready. Matter of fact, not even that. I'm going to do a double. We're going to put out a phone number that you can text, fax to, and we'll also capture your email. Sometimes we can't read your email. But one of the things that I'm gung-ho on is staying in touch. Data. We got to be able to keep contact because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know, and whenever something does happen, how would you know? How would you know? But I know 2 places where I can always find you. On your phone, through a text message, and in your email. Even if you check it 20 years from later, you're like, damn, Red was reaching out, man. I missed that. So here is just a small glimpse, right, of what I mean by forming a directory. So we don't have to utilize the excuse anymore. Imagine if this was on an app on your phone, you could just tap on any one of these farms, right? When they tell you what they have. A Browntown farm has fruit, vegetables, strawberries, blueberries, tomatoes, collard greens, potatoes. You tap right on that icon, you go there, you order the food, they Amazon it to you the next day. Come on now. You don't even got to wait for the farmer's market, right? I know people that are having functional businesses shipping boxes of fruit around the world, right? So, even if we don't utilize Amazon, the T in F.A.C.T.S also goes for transportation, because what about our ride-sharing apps? What about us creating our own ride-sharing systems? The technology is already out there because Uber and Lyft exist. So the code is already there. You could tweak it and make it your own. So you could say, yo, I want to employ melanated truck drivers with CDL licenses. They got their own trucks, their own trailers, their own sprinters and vans and whatnot. We're just going to push button order them, because these brothers are always going to be clicking, because there's going to be an agreement amongst us to shop and to circulate our coin and our dollar with our people. You know how you make sure that happens? You tokenize the dollar. What do you mean by that, Red? You turn that fiat, that dollar bill, into your own token, right? So now I don't got to worry about you humming and saying it, but you're not doing. No, your dollar is now a coin that only exists within this system, right? So the F.A.C.T.S coin will work within the F.A.C.T.S ecosystem. So you don't got to have the temptation of, but I do want to buy a scratch off though. I think I should roll the dice. No, nigga. When you circulate it within your network, within your circle, within your team, within your group, you're going to really see the benefits of what that look like, because you'll never see anything because we don't circulate our dollar. We don't have a connected network. They got us spread all out and say, oh, nah, you are all American. You everybody. You equal to everybody and everything. You're a tax-paying American. Come and spend money with us. Come and shop with us. But nobody's investing in you. Nobody is sending the bag back. You're not part of no Susu network. You're not part of a bank. You can't get a loan. They don't have it set up for us like that. We have to create what our ancestors created, which allowed them and permitted them to build black cities in the South, which gave them the access to thousands of acres. By show of hands, how many peoples, your descendants, were estate owners and had acres out here up in the South, right? Thank you, right? Was growing all kind of fruits and vegetables, had agriculture, had acres, had estates. That came from them being connected to like the black church when it was really functioning the way that it was supposed to, putting a lot of money together and then doing what needed to be done, right? So these are the different farms that are out there and whatnot. This is close to y'all, so if you want to take pictures, like I said, if you want to hit me up afterwards for the PDF, we'll make that happen. You know what I mean? Garden Variety Harvest, Esther Manor Farm. So we have to break the mind state of looking at our black farmers or our melanated farmers as people that we don't need, or it's alright, they strawberries ain't as good as Kroger's or Publix. Right? We know that the food is GMO now. It's non-nutritional. We know that if we were to work with our people who got these farms, we won't be paying whole food prices. You know what I mean? If we collectively, let's just say, you know, we utilize the once again, I have the ant farm theory. That's how I'm approaching things. That's what the F.A.C.T.S Initiative is tied into. That collectively we could do more than individually. Imagine if we just came to this restaurant every Sunday and just put our savings or our quote-unquote investment into a collection, right? That collection goes to the black farmers, right? You don't have to go individually and be all nitpicky with, I don't know if I want this avocado. It's looking a little tart. No. We all know what we need. We go to the farms with a big truck and a big bag that we collectively put together. And one person hops out and gives that farmer that bag and fills 4 trucks up. And then comes back and then we all come together and we get the food that we need. We just get bags and bags of stuff. We don't have to even weigh it out. It's collectively bought now. That's how the Asian does it. That's how the Indian does it. And guess who they taught? The African. Because that's how they shop. They shop, they buying pallets. They got the ships is coming over, dropping they shit off. They like, yo, give me 18 tons of shea butter. Big drip. Give me 8 tons of Gucci bags. I want all of those. And the belt. Yeah, the belt. And the wallet. We'll sell this in Harlem. Yeah, we're gonna be on Canal Street with this. But that's how they shop. So that's how the dope boy shop, right? That's how they sold it to you on the wire. That's how they sold it to you on Power. That they put all it when they trust each other. They bringing briefcases together. That's what they said Bumpy Johnson and them was doing on Godfather Harlem for the Doochie. Remember when they remember the big Doochie sale? They brought all the briefcases together and they bought the big load of Doochie. Then the warehouse caught fire. Yeah, I caught feelings over that. I was like, not the Doochie. I was feeling like a drug dealer. Not the Doochie. You murdered the Doochie. Yeah. Get it back. But yeah, here we go. Because going back to what I was mentioning earlier about the effing food, right? What does the garden do for us? This is the magic of the garden. My mother, she don't even have a front lawn. She got a garden. And the people who like to cut the lawn and be manicuring their lawn, they look at my mother like something is wrong with her, while we looking at the whole block like something is wrong with them. You paying taxes on this land and you cutting off it's like giving yourself a fade every damn week and not letting this shit grow. You could sustain yourself off your own land. Because what is in the garden? There's 4 things in the garden. The garden sustains us with the nourishing foods. It feeds us, right? That's the vegetables, the fruits, and everything that's growing out of the mycelium network, right? But what does it also do? It heals us. Because the herbs are for the healing of the nation. You could grow shrooms. You could grow all kind of herbs in your backyard and all kind of gardens or whatever. But what does it also do? It enriches us. Because what does the garden grow? Crops, right? Ask any farmer, ask any agricultural culture, right? Ask anybody who's popping them crops. Ask the weed man. How about that? Ask him. Yeah, Big Sherm, Big Worm, where you at? Yeah. Ask the weed man. Yeah, you feel me? Ask dude who own cookies about crops. Because that's crops. That's, ask people who grow hemp. Ask people who grow corn. Ask people who grow strawberries and things like that. Ask the man them that grows the coconut. Right? The soursop. Go and pull up on the 18-room mansion of the Rasta who's moving at CMOS. Because, that's a whole cartel out there. The CMOS cartel. Yeah, that's the new Pablo. So those crops feed us, but they sustain us, but you could also monetize it, right? And the other one is that it's clothing, right? The hemp, the cotton, so it clothes us, right? So we get so much, but we're overlooking that because that's how the government is training us, right? They're training us in this mind state that we don't look at the land and we don't see the importance of it. And we look down on the farmers like they're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. And these brothers are holding on and they need our collective, quote unquote, our collective hands and things. Now, there's a numerical concept to the F.A.C.T.S Initiative where the reason why I'm on tour, the reason why we beating up these highways and byways is I'm on a mission to sign 30,000 people up, right? And I'm starting out small in rooms like this because I'm going to places where the people need to see, somebody, where the people need to hear about. They need to hear about the solutions. And first and foremost, I'm going out to the places where I first started, which would be out here. You dig what I'm saying? But my aim is 30,000 people, right? The way that our initiative is going to be set up is going to be set up through via Web3, right? Which will make it quote unquote trustworthy because we'll be on an open ledger, which is the blockchain. So any transactions, anytime you move a penny on a blockchain, it's recorded on an open ledger. It'll be a DAO, which is called a decentralized autonomous organization. There is no president, there is no hierarchy model. It's all automated and it's going to be run under smart contracts. So 30,000 members, right? And we're starting it out, and it's even going to have a feature in it to whereas when we reach a certain level, it's going to upgrade us. But we're going to start out with $20 a week, right? But we live in a quickening. We live in a day and time where time is going like this. I didn't even know it was Sunday, right? I'm like, yo, what happened to August? August is gone, just like that. So what we were able to do 10 years ago by saying we're going to do it weekly, now we got to do it daily. Things that we used to do daily, we got to do it hourly. So we'll start out with $20 a week. That's a $600,000 budget and whatnot. Imagine if $600,000 will go into black farmers. Imagine if we voted, right? Because that's what the DAO allows us to do. By becoming token holders and whatnot, there's a voting system in the DAO where if you are a member of the DAO, you now have power as a voter. Right? You now have a say in what takes place. So, the whatever the highest vote, the voter wins. So 30,000 people at $20, that's an investment, right? But then imagine that daily. Imagine how many jobs could be created with a $600,000 investment. Wow. Imagine how much product could be created. Imagine how much machinery could be purchased. Imagine how much land could be purchased. Imagine how much digital real estate could be purchased. Imagine how many people could be paid in labor, because that it'll also go towards the labor of the members that are working. Sweat equity. Imagine $20 a minute. It seems far-fetched, but it's not, especially if you're getting $100 a minute if you are locked in. Because remember, we're talking about food, art, clothing, technology, shelter. As members of the F.A.C.T.S Initiative, we're gonna learn how to become equity owners in each other's businesses. So now if I have equity in a restaurant, am I gonna choose another restaurant to eat at? Or I'm gonna go eat at the restaurant I got equity in? You don't gotta talk about boycotting, you don't gotta go marching, you don't gotta beg nobody to eat in their store, you go eat in yours. Please clap that up. We tried every other way. But what's gonna work for us is us working for us. All right, let's get off of the food real quick, right? Because like I say, we got horticulture, right? And we have agriculture. So in the horticulture industry, we're talking about trillions of dollars, not billions. Don't let them fool you. Trillions of dollars. And when we talk about the horticulture industry, we're not talking about having a dispensary. There are 100 other ways in which you can make, quote unquote, you can make it happen besides selling marijuana. There's the hemp plant. There's the medicinal aspects of it. There's the fact that people who are going to be out smoked, they're going to need places to go in order to detox. Did you think about that? What about weed tours through places where the weed is legal and whatnot? Why not take them through a tour where they could, go while they're high? Why not a tour guide that could take people to black-owned restaurants wherever weed is legal? They got the munchies. I'm just saying. I'm throwing out all of these things that I usually charge $500 a consultation for. I'll send y'all the invoice now. But as we can see, these barriers are beginning to fall state by state. Soon it will be, nationwide. What we don't want to do is ever to trick ourselves out of the opportunities that are opening up. All of these represent opportunities, right? When this becomes legal in one state, that's 100 new opportunities opened up for people to get themselves out of suffrage, right? 100 different new income streams have presented themselves for you to swim in. That's what I see. I don't see anything else. So, like I said, this is a map of all of the dispensaries and whatnot in Virginia where they've legalized the plant, right? So, of course, there's big pushback. And then we have the other plant-based medicine, which would be the psychedelic mushroom or the psilocybin, which is very instrumental in helping people heal from trauma, depression, anxiety, right? Low self-esteem, insomnia, fears, phobias. And I could go on for days. But this thing right here heals your brain. It don't make you, it's not acid, it's not a chemical, it's not made in a lab, it's not a drug. It grows out of poop. But it's really a magical mushroom. It really does some things that you can come and talk to me after the lecture about. Right? So art. It's too vast to even expound upon. It's a universe unto itself. There's a term that I use called a fantasy industry that encompasses a lot of what art represents. And in order to control the quote-unquote image of our people, which is connected to the power of the people, we're going to have to control our image. We got to control our narrative. We got to control the ideas and the concepts that are going into these babies' heads and whatnot. That's how they whooping our asses and whatnot, through suggestion. Through ideas and concepts that's being sold to us through the entertainment and through the miseducation system that they lined us up with. Case in point, I'm going to just use one quick example, drill culture. Drill culture is acidic because the idea and the concept behind drill culture is that everybody is your op, and if you got an op, only way to deal with them is knocking them off. There's no conflict resolution in drill culture. So now drill culture has been adapted by world star culture and regular dudes that are not even in the drill scene, to whereas if you argue with somebody at the gas station, you could get Peter rolled. If there's road rage incidents, niggas is cutting you off, they shooting them up because they have drill, they listening to the drill on the radio. So the mentality, the idea, and the concept, right, this inlaid in drill has now permeated into the impressionable minds of the youth, and that's how they're carrying themselves with the mind state of drill culture. You see how the egregor works, right? So the ideas and the concepts and the narratives that are being pushed by these billion-dollar corporations like the record industry, like Hollywood, like the TV and whatnot, all of them know what they're doing. They're going to sign somebody to $1 million because their ideas and their concepts are in alignment with doing what? With us being as backwards, upside down, and irresponsible as possible. So we get rewarded for our niggertree, right? And then the babies see that and they be like, nah, I want to be a nigga because niggas have been rewarded in my lifetime more than you tree hugging, you know what I mean, Hotep niggas. Like, where's your rewards at? They didn't even send you to Egypt. Who's rewarding you guys? So art, very vast. Shout out to the good brother A.A. Rashid. Alright, he put out this this series where he juxtaposes, you know, the mythology with popular culture. So that's Whoopi Crowley. No, that's Alistair Crowley. No, that's Alistair Whoopi. You know. So of course we know what the NFT market did for the starving artists and whatnot. It permanently changed the starving artists from starving, and it showed artists that their value, that they didn't meet their value. They were being undervalued by like many people in many industries, which is what technology, one of the great things of what technology is doing by disrupting these industries is bringing value to certain sectors and industries where the value is being sucked out of it forever. There never was supposed to be starving artists. Not with the importance of the artists. So they was never getting thousands of dollars for their art. Then NFTs came and changed all of that and whatnot. You feel me? But there's so many new art that we could be getting into that we want to talk about. Not right now. This will be dealt with in the initiative. This will be taught, right? This will be given to our babies all the way up to our elders. It don't stop. There's no age limit to imagination, right? Audience-based creation, right? There's going to be in the very near future and right now, you're going to be able to create with the inclusion of the audience, right? Making it interactive. AR and virtual reality. That's augmented reality, virtual reality. In the very near future and right now, you could put on a pair of glasses and a goddamn orca will jump out of the damn out the floor, and you'll be like, oh shit! You would think an orca is on you, and you know orcas be killing whales. I mean, be killing sharks, right? Yeah, scary. Multi-gallery platforms, visualization, gamification, right? Being able to gamify things, right? Laser technology. Right? The laser technology, laser machines, doing beautiful artwork. Okay? How tech is changing the art industry for the better. If you're an artist, first and foremost, the most important tool that you can have is, hold that up, Blue Pill, is your tablet. Right? That will change your life forever as an artist. In this climate that we're in right now, get you a tablet. And your life will change forever. 3D modeler, right? These are just some of the things that I'm showing you that not only you could look at as a new income stream, as a career choice, something that you could tap into. I'm never going to put anything in front of you that is not a quote-unquote profession or a skill set that you could pick up that will be able to take you out of struggle to strive, right? I'm trying my best to give you some of these keys because sometimes we don't even know this data exists. But what I'm really showing you, homeschoolers, right, parents, and young adults, is that this is really for you, right? I'm encouraging the parents to steer your little ones in this direction rather than, you know, bankrolling them into being the next America's Top Model or a rapper. Or young Dwayne Wade. Yeah, that part. Or little Marshawn Lynch. No. We got enough Pop Warner. You know what I mean? They got overflow. We need some more Idris Sandoos. We need some more Nipsey Hussle. And you don't need to be a Crip. You feel me? We need some more Red and Blues. We need some more Dr. Sabies. Like, that's what we need. We need some more Aaron Gruder, who made Boondocks. You know, creators. That's what we need. People that are gonna, where's our toy makers? Where's our video game developers? Where's our animators? Like, that's what we need. And the youth are more, they're gonna learn this like they learned Fruity Loops. They're gonna learn this like they learned Fortnite. They're gonna learn this like they learned everything digital that they've mastered and whatnot. This is their realm. This is the tools that are gonna take them into different quote unquote places around the world. This is a global market, a galactical market, damn near. Right? There's nothing stopping you. They don't let anybody tell you that racism exists in the art world like that, because they're lying to you. Your creations are your creations, and if your people don't buy it, it's niggas in China that will. 3D modeler, right? I gotta breeze through this because I'm on a time restraint. 3D animator, right? Book illustrator, okay? Book cover artist, cartoon artist, right? Comic book artist, computer animator, game level designer, graphic designer, right? There's all of these, medical illustrator, right? Layout artist, logo designer, motion graphics artist, right? Print designer, so storyboard artist. So you know when you open up a barbershop, then niggas open up a barbershop right next to you. Why don't we start copying each other with things like this? I'm going to start first. I'm going to pop out with a comic book. I need a few people to copy me like I'm a barbershop. These are unexplored territories. For the at-risk youth that are running around out here headless because the OGs and the elders did not set up no institutions for them or no rites of passage for them, I would say, I'm not here to chastise. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to smudge. You know what I mean? You should holler at us so we could work together and set something up, because we have some solutions and we're going to put it into motion. We're going to make sure some of these things are cycles that we don't repeat, because we could get them off the streets with things like this. I promise you. You have no idea. They're just, they have skills. They just want somebody to recognize it and to set it up to whereas they could display it. Video game designer. There has to be somebody in this audience that's going to be the next video game designer of a multi-billion-dollar franchise. The shit is not hard. They're handing it to us. There's classes. This right here is classes. This is actually classes. Okay? There's training for it. Right? There's education on 3D animation, algorithms, C++, Java, those are the languages, color theory, cinematography, computer graphics, digital media, drawing, game design, game theory, modeling, physics, programming. Niggas talking about, oh, where's the solutions? Video game director, visual effects artist, web designer, right? Nobody will ever get in the next person's lane. You can challenge yourself and master all of these things. Be God. You know what I'm talking about? You know, manifest that shit while you're here. We're in a day and time where the Neo effect is real. Remember in the Matrix when Neo was just downloading things? Like the way that our people's minds are opening up the way our people are able to receive information, and they breaking through these codes and whatnot, they could get all of this stuff. You'd be surprised. They'll be able to download it like Neo. Clothes, right? $1 trillion industry, right? Look at what we're up against, right? When we go through these hoods and whatnot, and we see our brothers sitting at the gas station and whatnot, sitting on the curb and whatnot, just withering away, right? Doing all kind of criminality, right? For what? For some fiat, you know, for some drugs, for a hit. When we see all of these able bodies on the damn chain gang line, when we see all our brothers hanging on the corner just doing nothing, when we see a bunch of people, you know, wasting time, blaming shit on white people, we like, nah, we need a labor force. We looking weak because we not a labor force. We not putting in that work, man. We not manufacturing no shit for us. We might be inside of some factories and warehouses, but all that inventory that's going into boxes, that's not our inventory. We getting peanuts to make it for them. They selling it. So in a day and age where there are hundreds of black-owned businesses, do we have fulfillment centers yet? Do we have production facilities like this? Can I go to 100 elders who are seamstresses? This is what they do. This is an art that was passed down to them. And be like, yo, instead of you just being in the crib, you know, sewing socks and shit or making, you know, booties and whatnot, I can employ you. We can employ you. For some of our sisters that may be getting off of the quote unquote, they may be recovering from an addiction and whatnot. Well, we can employ you. We could feed you. We could clothe you. We can employ you. You know what I mean? We can help you get back on your feet and whatnot, and we can help you tap into something that you know, something that you love doing. Right? For some of the sisters who may be coming from these quote-unquote countries like Africa, like Haiti and whatnot, and this is something that they need to do to sustain themselves, well, goddammit, we got something for you. Right? So here's a list of clothing manufacturers, right? So there's LA Corp, Sundog Productions, Integrated Textile Solutions. I'm showing these companies because I'm showing the people that this is something that we could be, we could have our own production. We could do the same damn thing. This is not hard at all, right? This is not hard. This is called export and import business, right? So for those of us who like to travel to the continent, who've never been to the continent, who want to go to the continent, for those of us who are linked in with brothers and sisters from Asia, right? For those of us who may be veterans who've been to Korea before, Vietnam, well, goddammit, that's where the factories are at. You open up an export and import business, and that's how you become these companies. Because I'm tired of spending thousands of dollars with people who don't look like me, fam. It don't feel empowering at all. The vertical integration, I figured out that there's going to be a level of vertical integration that is going to have to take place in this community or these networks. Maybe 10 years ago that wasn't needed and whatnot because it didn't grow to the level of where it's at. But at this level right now, it's so many businesses. Why are we not owning the place where you getting the blanks from? Because you still making somebody else, you still sending somebody else's whole goddamn village to college. It don't look like you. It's still talking greasy to you. It won't give you, a short on $2. You could go and spend 25 racks with them. Try having 24,998. They'll be like, nah, fam, get the $2. So these are the manufacturing corporations. They make military uniforms, face masks. As much as you niggas wore pooh shiesty masks, you wasn't making them. Medical gowns, hoods and tunics, right? Shirts, tees, togos, bulletproof wear, bottom wear, beach wear, track suits, right? So the U.S. apparel market, the most valuable apparel brand worldwide is Nike. $1.7 trillion is the revenue for the global apparel market, and the largest apparel market is the United States of America. We're the largest consumer market anywhere around the world. They love to sell to us. We're the biggest customers. And we happen to be uneducated customers, not y'all, of course. But we don't have the education. That's why a lot of people get over on us. And there's not even middlemen in this shit. There's like 5 and 6 men between us and China. I'm so sincere. The wholesaler is the middleman. The retailer is the middleman. And then the sales associates, they put a few dollars on top of it. They the middleman. What you talking about? Willis? So before anything gets to us, it's been marked up by 4 to 5 different people. So if you want to begin to retain any type of wealth, you cannot be a consumer anymore. That's not the way. That didn't get us nowhere. That got us looking at these charts feeling real depressed. Like, damn, we're going to be broke in 2033. Shit, I was planning on. You can't even have that conversation. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No wonder the dating scene sucks. On the first date, you be like, so when you see yourself in 20 years, broke, according to Forbes, what we gonna do tonight? What you want to be in the future? Employed, because according to Forbes, like you don't have no future. You can't plan right. You can't offer nothing if you buying into the propaganda. So you gotta have a different type of mindset. You gotta detox from shit like that. Because remember, they're feeding us through suggestion and through ideas and concepts and narratives that we haven't necessarily taken back to, whereas not only we know it, other people know it. Because that's the key. Because you be knowing a lot of shit, but other people don't. So they still living in an illusion, and you get frustrated because you like, damn, everybody is asleep but me. Jetson Flintstones. You in a Jetson mind state, they in a Flintstone mind state. It's all taking place at the same time. The cartoon The Jetsons and the cartoon The Flintstones were all taking place simultaneously. The Jetsons were like the Elon Musk in them. They were living in the future because they were in a technological lane or plane of existence where technology and all of that shit was running crazy. The Flintstones in them was living in the Stone Ages because maybe after a nuclear war or something, it basically pushed them back into analog while they were in digital. So they got some of our people right now living in analog while they living in digital. They got cars driving them, smart everything, smart home, smart this, smart that, while under the bridge, right, in Atlanta where we live, is tent cities. I was in LA, I walked through Skid Row, and I made it to talk to y'all. Nah, they wasn't on me. They wasn't on me. But I was like, imagine if they was, though. Imagine if I let off some type of fear pheromone or some shit. Imagine if somebody saw something that they was like, nah, we dragging them into the tents, trying them out. I don't know. But it's a whole city. I'm talking about the shit look crazy. But what did my mind see? A labor workforce. Because I refuse to look at these people like they wasn't about nothing, because what they've done in downtown Los Angeles is they've put Skid Row right around a wholesale district that the Mexicans run. So I'm seeing commerce being made. I'm seeing abundance on one block and the reverse of it on the next. And I'm like, nah, if they could do it, these is undocumented people. And these mostly melanated people on the other side. And they literally are living, I'm talking about they taking over whole blocks with tents. They got their whole, it's crazy. But I'm, like I said, I'm just observing. Technology All right, this is our brand. We in January, me and Blue, we minted our first coin called the Netaverse, and yeah, and we also began the quote-unquote build out of our own Netaverse, right? Our own metaverse, right? Because the Netaverse is better than the metaverse. This is where gods come to meet, you know what I mean? Goddesses, of course. This is going to be a earn to learn platform, right? Where you're going to be getting in touch with your higher self. The Netas are the Netaru, the Anunnaki, your higher self, your God self and whatnot. So, man, know thyself. We were able to gamify it, and we were able to put it in its own place. We're going to have the Netaversity, you know what I mean? It's going to be dope. And we have 44 quadrillion coins that we minted for the Netaverse. And yeah, it's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? This is what we're building out. All right? This is a plane landing on our lands. You know what I mean? We have our own digital real estate. Like you seen have anybody seen Dubai? In Dubai, they got the island made out of sand. Yep. Yeah, well, we redid it, and our thing looks like an ankh. You know what I mean? You don't get that good of a view right there because the plane is landing. But if you look out the window, that's the island made out of sand in the form of an ankh and whatnot. But you know, we work it. You know what I'm saying? We work it. Of course, the technology in form of cryptocurrency and the altcoins and whatnot. Like I tell everybody, we began talking about Bitcoin in 2014. And for those who are our students, this is all about timing. So those that were listening in 2014 and they took advantage of the time, right? They benefited. Some of this information is time sensitive. You got to jump on it immediately and you see the benefits of it. The majority of the people that hate hearing about cryptos is the ones who was out of time. They didn't hop on that shit because they don't like hearing it because it brings up anxiety and depression. Depression is when you harping on things in the past. Anxiety is in the future. You don't get depression from thinking about shit that's coming up. You get anxiety, right? 33 crucial technology industry statistics. There's a lot going on in the technological side of things. You know, the U.S. tech industry market is worth around $1 trillion. You know these things, right? These are things we all know. All right. Of course, Americans set to spend $487 billion. We're going to be getting into the making of tech. You know, this is not outside of our reach. Creating software, creating programs, creating algorithms. All of these things are doable. So we don't want anybody to think that it's outside of your reach, because it's not. Okay? Shelter, right? Like I was talking about earlier, green living, right? We're going to be focusing a lot on solar energy, green living, sustainability, earth homes, agri-hoods, and whatnot, tiny homes. You know, in Atlanta, I don't know how they doing it out here. In Atlanta, our good brother Ben X, show of hands, how many people know Ben X? Right? Yeah, brother Ben X and the Hereafter Farms, they went and secured about 400 acres, like an hour and a half outside of Atlanta, and on top of a mountain. We went on the damn GPS stopped working. We went up there. It's up there. And, you know, they got land, but they got land. The land, it was so much land. I was like, yo, we was surveying it. I was like, turn around. It's enough. It's the land. It's too much. It was a lot of land. So on these lands that we getting, you know, before we build it out and build these towns and whatnot, you know, we're going to have to put these tiny homes up. You know, these crate homes, you know, these earth ships. You know what I mean? These could be ordered on Alibaba. These could be built by prefab homes. Some of these could be built by hand. You know, some of our brothers and sisters who are affectionately known as crackheads, right? I don't even like using that term. But they talk about their engineering skills. how they were able to build things and whatnot. And I would love to have, to try to develop a program to try to salvage some of the skill sets in those brothers and sisters and whatnot who are great engineers, and begin to introduce them into these quote-unquote container homes, prefabs, tiny homes, you know what I mean, even a homeless crisis, right? How about putting them in some tiny homes and, you know, introducing them into a certain type of business model, a labor model, which we're going to be introducing for them, right, to clean them up. And but we're going to utilize tiny homes in the beginning, right? But then these are just some of the prices of them, but then we're going to move it up to something a little more upscale and whatnot. They start from $3,000 and up, as you can see. They start from $3,000 and up, $35,000 for some of them, right? There's a group that built Elon Musk's tiny home, and they're getting investments, right? People are putting in the tune of 74 million into this company and whatnot, right? So these are some of the housing trends, especially if you're in real estate, especially if you're into these house flips, especially if you want to build something that's going to be sustainable and will increase in price when this old market tanks and this bubble pops, because this is the new bubble that they're going to have to deal with, right? You will want to be ahead of the curve and utilize this data. Because that's all this is. When you take the data and you crunch it and you apply it towards something, you're going to watch and see what happens, because it's time sensitive. A year from now, this might not even be the move, because they might already start being on it. Once you hear the media talk about it, it's over. It's over. But that don't mean that they're not putting out information. But once the talking heads start dealing with it, it's already in the quote-unquote, if anybody deals with stocks or day trading, you see how the market works. You see how it works. Buy the rumor, sell the news and all that. You see how that shit is intricately tied into news programs, news articles and all of that. Once it's in the public, it's so, right, like I said, private and public, right? So all of the Wall Street transactions before they even let us in, all private. You get the news in the public, it's too late, right? Heating and power, solar, right? Net zero homes, right? Like they want net zero cars and whatnot, more efficiency, eco-friendly, right? Energy efficiency and cooling, right? So you come up with these buildings that you could come up with efficiency in the cooling systems and whatnot. You're going to hit a lick. There's trillions of dollars that they put to the side for the same people that destroyed this shit. Exxon, the oil companies, petroleum, those are the same people that pivoted into sustainable. That's why they're giving you that bull crap about climate change. It's all a farce to create new budgets. It's all about budget creating. But they've already put trillions of dollars, so the shit that they destroyed, it won't never really be, you can't hold it against them, because they're going to take the next 50 years into cleaning it up.
And taxes.
Huh?
And taxes.
And taxes, right. So Biophilic Designs, this is something that I will highly suggest anybody in real estate study this. This is what they're doing out there in Arizona and other places in the West. There's Airbnbs that you go on Airbnb, you try to get a spot that's built like this, you paying double the tax. Because this come at a premium, right? What a biophilic home is, it's a home that is designed with large openings that allow homeowners to look out onto things in their garden, like a waterfall or a fountain, that provide important auditory stimuli, right? So what they built, what they're working off of is the premise that DNA responds to environment, right? So if you're looking out your window and you see brick walls, or if you're looking out your window and you see garbage, or if you're looking out your window and you see just pure destruction, your DNA begins to respond to that environment. However, if you could look out your window and you see a waterfall, right? Or you see nature, or there's a beachfront, you're in a beachfront crib, right? That's why they're so expensive, because beachfront properties, the ionosphere is charged up, first and foremost, just by being, like, if you ever stood near a waterfall, or if you ever stand on the beach when the waves is crashing, you start to feel euphoric and whatnot. That's because the ionosphere is charged up with negative ions. And when it's negative ions, in that sense, is positive, right? So in a negative ionosphere, it's been said that you can manifest even faster in a negative ionosphere. Where the ions are negative is where the voltage is higher and you're able to break things into creation. The body feels good. Your body is charged up versus you're in places where it's taking away from you. Like if you got in a pool versus getting in the water in the beach, you're going to come out feeling differently. Because the pool got the chlorine that strips away your electric charge, right? So this is going to have, right, and in places where they have, instead of being in a dome and whatnot, where we have these corners that are squared and whatnot, that robs the room of the negative ions. They gather in the corners. So you have these new homes that are being built like domes and whatnot, right? High ceilings and whatnot. They're feng shui in the whole thing. So the feng shui is in the quote-unquote design, right? So they achieve it through a visual, auditory, and material connection to nature by using natural materials like wood, stone, water, and most importantly, plants, right? And I know every woman in this building, that's what y'all want in your house. Show of hands, please. Like, clap it up if that's where y'all want to live. And somewhere that's going to feed your senses in that way, right? So this is just a briefing of the tier 2, which would be the private, right? Fraternal. What we are proposing and what we're teaching the family about and what we're going to be building on is a 501c8. How many familiar with that with a show of hands? Okay. Yeah. 501c8 organizations are fraternal beneficiary societies comprising members, listen to this, who share common principles, callings, or a purpose that may go beyond social activities. These organizations must support the common good and provide benefits to their members. By a show of hands, how many people think that sounds like something that you would want to be a part of? Yes. I'm going to go further. I didn't see every hand. They want to keep us away from things like this, so what do? They give you a fear and a demonization of what? Of quote-unquote fraternal orders, right? And lodges. They keep you away from that. 501c8 organizations have existed for longer than most people may expect. Fraternal organizations can be found in the United States as far back as the 19th century. Many of these organizations were founded by immigrants and other underdeserved populations. For many of these individuals, these organizations were the only way they could afford medical care. The IRS first recognized these groups as nonprofits with the Tariff Act in 1909. Today, the IRS recognizes 501c8 organizations as associations that operate under a large system that supports members with what? Life, sick, accidental insurance, and other benefits. 501c8 organizations cannot pay directly for their members' life, sick, accidents, insurance, or other benefits. They partner with insurance companies to offer insurance services instead. These are some examples of them. All right. I'm going to wrap it up in 4 minutes.
You can pick back up after the break and everything.
Right. Knights of Columbus. It started as an organization of Catholic men in 1882. Members' Catholic faith is what brings them together and forms the organization's primary principles: charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism. The Elks. They were started in 1868 as the Jolly Corks. It was initially a collector of actors and theater professionals. The Elks exist under the principle of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity. Royal Neighbors of America. It started out as a membership organization in 1895 by 9 women whose aim has been to support other women and protect their members with life insurance and annuities. All right, and with that, we're going to take a break. This is not over, y'all. We want y'all to be able to get something to eat because the kitchen will be closing and whatnot. The kitchen will be closing, so let's get some food in our stomachs. This is not over. Please join me right after the break, after 15 minutes. Please support all of the vendors in the building. You dig? Please support all of the vendors in the building. I have some wares over here, and I'm also offering some consultation services for the family this whole week. If y'all are interested, come pull up on me and come and sign up for that. Blue Pill got the gold water and everything. I'll see y'all in 15 minutes. Thank you for your time and your attention. Give yourselves a round of applause, y'all. Peace.